shoots it.
B.B., let's start this discussion by talking about some of your influences. Who would be probably the primary influence in your career?
I think I'd have to say Lonnie Johnson along with Blind Lemon. Those were the two main influences in the beginning. Now, neither played exactly alike. Lonnie had a way of playing that, to me, it was not really traditional blues, but then it wasn't jazz either. It seemed to be somewhere kind of in between. Lonnie Johnson was a little more mod than Blind Lemon, but Blind Lemon had a way of playing with certain rhythm patterns. It seemed like to me he would be playing, and I can't do too well with my thumb and finger, but he would be playing, let's say if he was in key V. I wanna go home. See, I got first sign of key. I think about it. I wanna go home, but I ain't got sufficient clothes, doggone my bad luck soul. And then he'd start. You know, and ease it out like when I would, instead of him double timing as the musicians started to use the word, I would expect him to continue that, but he wouldn't. He'd find certain spots. Well, now Lonnie Johnson was altogether different. Lonnie to me, even though Blind Lemon had certain little phrases that he would do that would remind me of Lonnie Johnson. For instance, like Lonnie would be in the key V as we were, and I'd hear this. It's kind of like somebody using good diction speaking to me. Like that.
Lonnie wouldn't use the finger vibrato as much.
Yeah. Dot like that. This came about in my case from listening to the bottleneck. I have a cousin named Booker White, had a cousin rather, and he would put a bottleneck or take a knife or some kind of metal piece and, you know, and they could do that. My fingers have never been able to do it, but when I would take a guitar and my ears tell me that sound a little bit like, you know, if you had the bottleneck. So that's how I started to do it. Well, so after so long, after listening to Blind Lemon, after listening to Lonnie Johnson, when I would try to mimic them or do as they did, which they didn't do a very good job, I would always wind up. To me, to sustain that, it's kind of like, I'm not very good with words either, but if I'm talking to try and make a point to you, okay, I might start it, and it's like telling a joke. If I start it like so, like that, cut it off, you don't get the point, right? But if I do, then I feel that you're left.
Stand
They
here.
get put in. That's when I'm really stressing the point. I want to really get, in other words, it's in here then.
So let's break down what you're just playing here. You're bending with the third finger and then releasing and bending the next string with your third finger, right?
Right. What I try to do though is to have control over each one of them.
Right.
For instance, like if I'm on this E here,
Right.
or if I want to hit an E way up, I'll also, but the trill is mostly in this, is like this. Don't know the right words.
Right. So your hand isn't even on the neck. Your thumb isn't even on the neck. It's just your finger that's doing the.
Just my finger there. And if you could see it from this side, see I'm not even touching it there.
Right. It's just the only thing that's touching your neck is your pinky right now.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed though, with a good amplifier, even without an amp, I can sustain that.
Right.
And if I get a pretty good amp, you can sustain it as long as you want. Sort of like being up in a glider plane, as long as you got the current, airflow. And I think a lot of it has to do with how even you. Another thing, I use quite a bit of treble on the guitar. And the way that came about, I cannot hear lows like most people. Okay, I can't hear the bass E or the D or either one of them as the B, I can't hear it like I could the E up top or this B up here. I hear those. So that's one of the reasons why I use a lot of highs, because I hear it better.
B.B., let's talk about T-Bone Walker and the influence he had on you.
Well, T-Bone Walker to me had a style and a sound that I never heard anybody really, even till today, completely imitate exactly what he did. Now, a few guys I've heard get close to it, but he had a way of bending the string. That might be the reason why I bend the strings today. But T-Bone didn't really bend his bending mostly was like that.
Yeah.
All right, see if I can get a little bit. He had another way of starting, like the intro to a song that just killed me. And I guess this is one of the reasons why I use ninth chords today.
Could you play that like a little slower and just go through it?
Okay.
Great.
He would start. And it seemed to me that he would start with his pinky finger here. Well, first with this one.
Right. So he would bend the C to a D.
Yeah.
And then play the D on the adjacent string on the D string.
Right.
Okay.
And then to the G and
Right.
and back up to what the F.
F, right.
And if you do it fast, it will sound. So I think it went twice, so let me try it again. Like that, so. Like that.
And you're bending that B flat just a hair.
Just a hair.
Mm-hmm. It's almost a quarter step bend.
Mm-hmm. Not as much as you did in the beginning with the rest of them. And then he would go, let's see, he would hit maybe this a G7 with the dominant 7. I've never been able to do that, so I have to like that. And then that's when he would go from the 1 to the 4.
And there you're in the 8th position.
In the 8th position.
Right. Playing off of that chord pattern, right?
Well, the reason why I do that is because if I would stay, for instance, here, I can't control the strings as I wish. In other words, because I got too many open strings here. So I could have gone to the C here.
Right.
But I couldn't control, and in fact, I can't even figure nothing I can do with it. Yeah, but that wouldn't work for what I would want there. So naturally, I would come back instead of being from this G to this C here. So playing the blues to me, even though it's proper for the person to learn all of the positions possible,
right.
But then you'll find it's kind of like in my case, it's kind of like an ingredient that you would be fixing a malt. You put something in, put a little chocolate in it, the milk, and so on. Well, I think what I'm trying to say, you find the one that sounds the best to you, but learn them all.
Right.
Which I didn't. So when I come up here, if I do it slowly.
Something that most guitar players don't do is you bend up with the first finger. Most guitar players rely on their third finger to bend. And I see in that position, you bend the C to a D on the 8th fret with your first finger. That's very unique. There you go, yeah.
R.
Does that come out of the T-Bone Walker school, or is that something that you've added to his style?
I think it's something I added to it. Because, as I mentioned earlier, T-Bone was good with bending with this third finger there.
Right.